Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and 9. And yes, we are spending this month reading from the book of Crosby. From the book of Crosby. Now, yesterday was a hard day for me. It didn't seem like it. It seemed like it was starting off really good. But as the day went on, my mind became, what's the word for it? It was like I needed to reboot. It's like I needed to reboot my computer. It was just too full of whatever it was that I was thinking about. And it was a really hard day because it was the first time since I've been born that my father's birthday was marked by his absence. Yes, it's true. My Dr. Crosby was born November 4, 1932, and he passed away earlier this year. So yesterday was just a really hard day. It was so hard I didn't even eat dinner. I got in bed at 10 p.m. and I didn't get back up until 6 a.m. this morning. But I am having a good day today. I feel much better. I feel more together, more refreshed. So we're going to continue on telling his story in his words. But before we do that, you know what we need you to do? Go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel so you can keep up with what we're doing over here. Number 2, let's go ahead and share. Let me share a few words of wisdom from the mind of Dr. Crosby. Now, this one, I have a poem about it as well, but I don't know how easy it would be for me to access it right at this moment. I didn't get it pulled up in advance, but it's part of a Nikki Giovanni poem, and the line goes like this: even my errors are correct. And Dr. Crosby used to love to say that one all the time, that even his errors are correct. So no matter what he did, he was going to come up on the right side of whatever it was he was doing. And so that's what we're sharing with you today. Quotation from Dr. Crosby: even my errors are correct. Now, let's go ahead and can we do a poem today? Yes, we can do a poem today. We got a poem here from the Songs from an Afrophone. Let's see what we got here today. Yeah, because this one here reminds me of my father. Because just by looking at the title, I don't know what the whole poem is going to say, but just looking at it real quickly here, it's called Stone Song. Stone Song Rock Chant. Click, clatter, clash thoughts of need. Gourd gall, tall stories, fable black. Sunstone, star stiff, ageless dirt. Whimpering before great clockstone, before great metronome, before great time gong. Marble mine, granite gut boulder, strut, sand, what? Sand cement hut. Sand cement hut. Erection rock, high noon height. Upsoar, phallic, fossil song, ridge rhythm, daddy drum thump, rock of ages, rock of gauges, clock and cave, cage of mazes, interdependence, hard water from solid air, water frozen to stone, transparent stone, and temperature, rock-a-bye baby, rock-a-my soul in the bosom of Africa. Hardness is the hard hum of change. Hardness, the soft steel of love rocks. Now, don't ask me what no love rocks are. I'm afraid to answer that one, for fear you might tell me. So, and that's from Songs from an Afrophone by Eugene Redmond. So let's go ahead, moving right along, getting right back into our story. We're in um, Southern Alabama or Central Alabama, Tuskegee, Alabama, Tuskegee Institute, Alabama, to be more precise. We're in Tuskegee Institute, Alabama, and Dr. Crosby has not actually received his doctorate yet, but it will be on the way shortly. In the meanwhile, he's at Tuskegee Institute and preparing to teach German, or is just starting to teach his German and Spanish classes. So let's see what happens next. He says the Spanish students were more aggressive in their approach to Spanish than his German students were. Those German students were just there for the grade, for the to meet their requirements, so they could go ahead and study chemistry. But the Spanish students, they were really more interested in learning to read, speak, and write the language. So let's see what he had to say. What else he had to say about them? Okay, I got to go to the next page here. There we go. Whoops. Hope I didn't go too far. Uh-oh. What happened? My page just disappeared. Oh, I don't know what happened. That was odd. Okay. To meet this need, I not only toughened my instructional intensity in class speaking and out loud reading activities, I also wouldn't allow my students, regardless of the language they took, to slough off the eagerness to learn they showed during our initial class meetings. When they first learned, I would be their instructor. Furthermore, I had met with Miss Williams, the French teacher, to see how she approached her teaching of French, to find out what activities she was employing to increase her students' learning. I mentioned to her the experiences I had had at Kent State and Hiram during the Xmas season, when I would have my students sing Christmas carols in front of the homes in the black section of Kent. The first time this had ever been done in the black community, and they, the black residents, and my black and white students, greatly appreciated our reach out, or our outreach. Miss Williams was so attracted to the idea, she quickly joined me in planning the event. It was already October, so we gave ourselves 2 months to choose and practice the carols we would sing. Once we felt the students were proficient in their regular classroom activities, we launched into practicing the carols. On Christmas Eve night, we set out to surprise the Tuskegee Institute community. Shirley joined me and Miss Williams, taking students around the campus and out into the community to sing carols in French, Spanish, and German. Even though it was cold, but not blistering cold as it would have been in Ohio, the caroling went very well. This was the first time since the Institute's founding in 1881 that students traversed the community singing Christmas carols in any language, much less German, Spanish, and French, at President Foster's home and the homes of other administrators and faculty members. Once we got the students singing, we couldn't stop them. When we finished caroling, we gathered at my home in Roberts Circle for hot cocoa, pastries, warm cider, and conversation. Now, I don't remember nothing. I don't remember anything about that. I was pretty young. I don't remember anything about that. There are some things I remember. That's just not one of them. I mean, from back in that time period, there are some things I remember. Like I said, that's just not one of them. But it's interesting, though, because sometimes I don't celebrate Christmas. We stopped celebrating Christmas in the early to mid 1970s. We stopped celebrating Christmas. So I haven't celebrated Christmas in umpteen decades. But a lot of times when I was working in the schools here in Akron, as I was walking down the hallway during Christmas time, sometimes a German Christmas carol would come into my head, and you were liable to see me walking down the hallway singing it. O Tannenbaum, O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind seine Blätter. Du grunzt nicht nur in Sommerzeit, kein auch in Winter, wenn es schneit. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind seine Blätter. Yeah, now y'all might recognize the melody even though you didn't know the words. That was just what you thought it was. Oh Christmas tree, how green your leaves are in not only in summertime, in winter, and also in summertime, or in summertime and also in winter. So yeah, so that song will pop into my head, and if I don't sing it, I feel like my head will burst. So I just have to sing the song, even though I am not a Christmas is not my thing. So to this day, some of those Christmas carols are in my head because I also studied German, as did both of my brothers. So we all studied German, and my daughter, my youngest daughter, she also studied German as well as Spanish, and is fluent in German and Spanish, much like her grandfather, but she's actually living in Germany. So you can see that Dr. Crosby had an effect on us, not just those of us, not just those of us, not only those of us who lived in the same household as him, but even as it has been passed on down to his grandchildren. So we'll see what happens with the great grands, because right now they're really likely to be born in Germany and be full-blooded Germans. It's the weirdest thing ever. So once we got the students singing, we couldn't stop them. When we finished caroling, we gathered at my home in Robert's Circle for hot cocoa, pastries, warm cider, and some good conversation. This experience captured the minds, hearts, and language abilities to such a degree, Mrs. Williams and I decided to take their learning experience even further. We decided to get permission from Tuskegee's theater director, Professor Bucky Buchanan, to use his theater facility to rehearse and stage the short German, Spanish, and French comedies we had chosen to present. We would first have our students read these plays silently and then aloud at home. In class, we would then take time to be sure they understood them and correct their pronunciation and the fluency of their out loud deliveries. Then the students rehearsed their parts almost endlessly, or so Mrs. Williams and I hoped. To get the students to work as hard as they did for months so as not to embarrass themselves, Tuskegee and us, we promised the plays would be performed only once, but they would have to promise to do their very best, for their grade depended on it. When she and I considered the students ready to perform, we set a performance date. As we had hoped, our students performed excellently well, and the audience enjoyed their stage presence, their daring to speak foreign languages in public, and their professional demeanor. Some students had their parents in the audience and were determined to demonstrate to them how much they enjoyed being students at Tuskegee and learning foreign languages to boot. They performed so well. Dr. Walker, who was in the audience, wanted the plays repeated. Frankly, I would have enjoyed performing the plays again. However, we had promised the students not to. Moreover, we didn't want to run a good thing into the ground. Indeed, rightly or wrongly, we did ask our students to decide whether to present the plays again, and they objected. I tried to convey to Dr. Walker we had promised the students to have them perform only once. Indeed, when you consider the time we and the students had expended already, we had also promised ourselves not to do it more than once. Dr. Walker persisted, and I continued to resist his attempts. So apparently, this really was a hit and was something that was very well received by all. But this is the beginning, some of the early stages of Dr. Crosby's pedagogical, philosophical development, because he always said, all the way up to his last days, he was still saying it. We got to make it live. It's got to be live. Let's make it. You got to do it. Let's do it. We got to do it. And if we're going to do it, let's do it right. If you're going to do it right. That's what he was saying. If you're going to do it right. And we got to make it live. So those were the two of the things that he continued to say all the way up until the time that he passed, is if you're going to do it right. And we got to make it live. It's got to be live. Just something where you're reading out of a book, it's not going to be enough. So I found that the things that I remember most from my study of languages are those things that we did have to recite in class, or that we, the games that we learned, the songs that we learned, those kind of things. So he was right on time with that. And that applies to anything, not just the study of languages. Once you can get the students involved in it, in the process, it takes on a whole new perspective. The students will have a whole different perspective on what it is that you're doing, or what it is that they're supposed to be learning. It was this situation, along with other incidents, that started me to examine the real character of Tuskegee more intensively. As stated earlier on, I liked the students and the faculty, particularly those who, like me, were young. Northern born, had come south looking not only to teach black youth, but also to enter the struggle, to enter our people's collective struggle to end segregation and win our right to be treated as full-fledged first-class citizens of the United States of America. Moreover, many other faculty members I befriended were born in the South, but were also willing to struggle against the racism that pervaded Alabama and the South, as well as the fear that pervaded the Institute. Shirley and I relished being around colleagues like Ray Matthews, Paul Puryear, Lillian Walker, who was white, and others who accepted the challenges natural to working and living in the South. Initially, as pointed out earlier, I was very much concerned about my decision to bring my wife and now my two sons to Alabama. Dr. Walker's antics began causing my wife and me to have misgivings about the administrative and the academic culture of the college, and we are going to end right here. And we'll be back tomorrow with more from the Book of Crosby. But in the meanwhile, we hope we brought you a smile, put a smile on your face, and maybe even an ace in your pocket or up your sleeve, if you will. Don't cheat, though, because that's bad business if you're playing cards. And we will be back tonight with more stories from our new segment, Real Talk. So if you want to hear some real talk about the civil rights movement and what times were like in Tuskegee, Alabama at that time, as well as other parts of America, tune in tonight to the Tubular Black Facts channel. And in the meantime, peace out without a doubt. We'll be black. Oh, let me not forget, it's the first of the month. And if you go to any of my pages or my groups, when you see my profile picture, click on it. You can make a donation to our cause right there, because it is donation time. So we need you to do more than just enjoy every rhyme that I'm dropping over here. We need you to drop a dime for the rhyme, because anything else other than that should be considered a crime. In the meanwhile, peace out with justice, because anything less would disgust us. And have a good day. Getting ready for the weekend. As we turn it into a strong end instead of a meek end. Oh, and let me give a shout out to Lee Clifford. We see you out there, Lee, as well as Bridget Graham. Shout out to all of you all. Feel free to send us a message when we're doing our show. Oh, okay.